welcome back to another episode of the OKC Redcast. I'm Tyler Vaughn.
And I'm Alan Langston. We're here to bring you the most positive perspective on Manchester United that you've ever heard.
Or your money back guaranteed.
I'm not trying to be too optimistic, I guess. I'm a little worried. I want to knock on wood when I start getting excited and seeing us play in decent form.
We're never going to lose again, Alan. What are you talking about?
I've been burned too many times. I have the scars run deep, Tyler.
Hey, man, it's okay to be optimistic. Things are looking better. Having said that, there might be some cause to worry in the upcoming months, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Alan, how's daylight saving time treating you? I hate it.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm not a huge fan. Also, I don't really like why people start going so slow in traffic when it starts getting dark earlier. They freak out. I'm like, no, guys, the speed limit's still the same.
They're falling asleep. I think it's later than what it is. I don't like it at all, man. It's already dark in here. Usually it's bright and sunny when we record these things, and I just don't dig it. But yeah,
I like the light.
Soccer stuff. So it's been a few weeks, and things have been pretty good, Alan. I mean, we got a big win away against Liverpool, beat Brighton, and then most recently drew with Nottingham Forest. So how you feeling? I mean, that's not bad. I mean, we'd probably take 7 points out of that. You know, looking back at the start of the month, right? I think I would.
Big time. Yeah, I think big time. Brighton's been a bogey team of ours over the last few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We'd only won 1 out of the last 7 matchups. And then I think I reluctantly / optimistically called a 2-1 victory against Liverpool, but I was pleasantly surprised that we pulled that off. And then most recently, as much as it's, kind of killed form, it was still nice to see our team fight back and get a draw. Because like Amram said after the game, last season we'd probably lose that.
Yeah, I think all those games, I mean, honestly, Liverpool away, we're not winning that last year. Brighton, once the subs were made and the wheels kind of fell off there, and they clawed their way back into it via a Danny Welbeck free kick. Shout out Danny Welbeck. I think that team last year crumbles too. And then same thing with Forest the weekend. They go down in typical, recent United fashion to 2 crosses in the box with little to no defense, I guess, really. I mean, it was pretty pathetic. But I think, last season we go on to lose that game by 2 or 3 goals. I mean, easily. But no, I mean, they fought back. It's good that it feels like a loss a bit. I mean, I think last year we'd have probably been happy with a point away, and all things considered. But this one, felt like we were in control, kind of threw it away a bit. But, I mean, Forest, not so good this year, but tough place to go play. And yeah, they did enough to get a point, and I'll take it. I'll take that. It's a decent month of October. I think I said November earlier, but yeah, we're just not getting into November.
I mean, Sean Dyche has them playing better. I mean, they beat Porto their first game under him, and they didn't do real well the week before in the Prem. But they definitely, under some more training sessions are going to be tougher to beat with Dyche. He's never going to make it easy, especially playing at home. And he knows how to kind of make things ugly and just difficult for the opposition. He's a good manager. He's not good enough to take on a big job, I feel like, but he's a good manager who can get a team well organized and just make things difficult. And the City Ground is a good stadium. Those fans get up for it. They get behind their team, and I think they're excited to see their team under Dyche because they've been awful under Ange. So, I think it was the whole time I was like, not to be pessimistic, but I just felt like it was going to be a draw the whole time. I didn't feel great about and when we went down the way we did, because we just kind of had a lapse for about 5 minutes coming out of halftime, I was like, man, does this team have it within them to come back? And the way we kept pushing, I thought we might get the goal, but I was a little worried that it was actually going to happen. And thankfully, Ahmad, had the courage to take on a strike like that. I heard, I think Andy Minton, talking to the Devils, was talking about Bruno went to Ahmad and said, hey, buddy, if the ball comes out of the box, it's going to be coming in this area. You need to be there ready for it. And it worked out.
He predicted it, huh? He called it. Yeah, man. And Ahmad could have won it there at the end if it weren't for a great goal line clearance. He had a decent chance there at the end, and I mean, I just thought as soon as he made contact, that's going in. And time and time again, he's shown us that he's capable of scoring and at least putting shots like that on target. So, no, I think I'm really disappointed that we didn't find a way to win that. Having said that, we'll take the point. I mean, it keeps us right in the thick of it. We're in 8th, but 17 points, and that's 2 points separating second from us in 8th. So
it's a jam-packed top half of the table.
It is. It's still early days. Well, we've played 10 games, 9 games, whatever it is.
10 games, yeah.
10 games. So still a long way to go, but it's night and day above where we were at this point last year in terms of just overall play. And you're giving Sean Dyche a lot of praise. I think Ruben Amorim deserves quite a bit of praise, and I think he's getting it. Nominated for Manager of the Month in the Premier League. The haters have gone out mostly quiet. I think there were a few things I saw after the game against Forest, which is to be expected, I guess. But I think he got it right at Liverpool. It wasn't vintage by any means, but he did what it took to win. And he's got the guys, I think, figuring out his system better than they were at this point last year when he first arrived, obviously, and never quite figured it out. It's come a long way.
Do you think there's any coincidence that this run of form and it's seeming like the players are bought in maybe a bit more after the fact Sir Ratcliffe came out and said that he's going to be here for a while? Do you think that helped anybody kind of be like, well, if he's going to be here, then I guess I might as well buy into it and stick to it?
I just honestly think overall, you just got. I mean, he's kind of figured out what's close to his best 11, so that helps that consistency. I mean, I think this past game was the first time he'd named the same side in back-to-back Prem games since he'd taken over. So
yeah, I heard that.
Big. The consistency is big. The defense, I think, is still kind of a work in progress. As we see, they still ship goals far too often. But I mean, the front three is clicking. Casemiro's playing like. I mean, I wish he could play 90 minutes because he's one of our more important players right now.
He just did play 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he could do it every week, though, right? You should be able to. With only playing one game a week, but he's just not kind of like, not how old is he, 34, 35? Yeah, he just doesn't have the legs to probably do it every game.
I think I heard he was 33. I think he's only 32 or 33. He seems older than he is, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, regardless, yeah, I think it just comes down to the fact that I don't want to place too much blame on the guys that were part of the bomb squad last year that were shipped off, but I think that helps. I think you've got a healthier locker room. You've got more professional guys that want to come in and do a job, and they're figuring it out. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you attribute it to? You think that Jim Ratcliffe's comments had something to do with it? You think he gave the guys a little kick?
I don't think it hurt. Yeah, I don't think it hurt. I don't know. And we may never know how much it truly affected the squad. But maybe there were some guys like, oh, well, this isn't my favorite. Let me just kind of do whatever I want, half-ass it, if you will. And then after that, they're like, well, if he's going to be here a while, I better get my butt into gear. But I'd be surprised. I'd be really surprised if that was going on because it seems like Amorim's not really messing around. So if you're doing that stuff, then he probably wouldn't want you in the squad, and you would have been in the bomb squad over the summer.
Yeah, I don't see anybody in the team where you think that guy's probably a head case.
Yeah, I'm thinking, they were already fairly bought in. Maybe it just gave everybody a bit more confidence in the fact that the hierarchy is still confident in him. But yeah, I think it didn't hurt. I'm glad that Jim Ratcliffe and them came out and said it though, because it just kind of stops all the stupid questions and all the stupid articles coming out, because now everybody knows, okay, they're in it for the long haul. So, I mean, granted, if the form kept up that way for a while, then maybe some of the questions would come up later, but
yeah. I think biggest worry though is that we are winless in the new black kits, the very popular new black kits. Alan, that's a draw, and then a bad loss at Brentford. So, is that the problem? The black kit's a problem. I don't know.
Did we have issues in the last black kit?
The last black kit. What about it?
I'm trying to remember the last black kit we had. I'm trying to remember if we had issues in that one as well. Wasn't it like 21 or 22 that we had a black kit?
I can't think the last one we had, honestly. There's 3 new ones every year. We have blue ones last year.
I just swear I remember people posting in the group like, we shouldn't wear these kits anymore. And it was a black one, but I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't buy into that sort of stuff very often. I think they'll get a big win in the black one at some point this season.
I hope so. I like it. I think it's a nice kit. I don't love it so much with the yellow socks, and definitely not with the yellow shorts, but if they could go all black, I think that would be the key to victory right there.
All black would be nice. Yeah, I would definitely prefer that. But back to your point about last year's squad. There's been so many points where I'm watching our forwards with Cunha and Mbumo drop down in and play defense, and they're not amazing defensively, but just their ability to hold up the ball in the other half and then bring it all the way down the field to our half. I just feel like our forwards last year either would have lost the ball in about 50% of the same situations or passed it in a really, poor moment of poor decision, and it just would have been a turnover either way. And then the team's coming back at us and shooting another shot at our goal, which is what we want to avoid. We want to limit the amount of times they have possession and chances to shoot. So I think even though, our forwards didn't have the best game this last week, I think they're miles better than what we were looking at last season.
They're a constant threat, yeah.
And I'm just trying to say it's not always about the goals and the assists. Sometimes it's simply about Cunha literally holding onto the ball while he's getting pressured, and he's just being able to take it 20 yards down the field and then make a pass. So that, maybe we only hold onto the ball for 2 minutes, but that's better than just immediately giving it back to the other team, and then they can continue with their pressure.
Yeah, the defense was constantly under pressure in previous seasons, just simply because, the midfield's not great, but the fact that our forward line could never keep the ball, keep possession, and get in the opponent's final third to kind of give them a break at all. I know Šeško's not banging in the goals yet, but what he does with the ball and holding it up and kind of and being at least a physical presence that causes problems and being a focal point goes a long way. And I think
I agree.
Goals will come, but I think what he does just in terms of build up and hold up play and things like that are almost as valuable, and it's much better than what we were getting with Rasmus Højlund last season for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I really like what he brings, and I don't know if you've seen Gary Neville and that whole stuff going around where people are kind of questioning if Gary was a little harsh on Šeško.
I didn't see what he said.
I think it was on the NBC broadcast after the game. He just thought he looked off of it compared to Mbumo and Cunha, and he looked awkward at times. And he was just being kind of critical. And so I've seen several United YouTubers or creators kind of come back at Gary and say, we all think Šeško's doing fine. He's not Holland and blazing or anything like that, but he's doing fine. And so they kind of thought Gary was being too harsh about it. And I kind of agree. I don't think Gary was being real fair to Šeško when he's trying to get used to a new league.
And most pundits, I feel like there's not a lot of they don't have a lot of. You get more clicks, right? You get more engagement when you come out and say a thing that's more polarizing. But yeah, give him time. He's a kid in a new league, playing away at a tough place. He's not going to be, like you said, he's not going to be Holland every game, and probably never. So,
Mbumo crossed a ball to him that he could have taken a better touch and been in. Absolutely. Did he mess up there? Sure. But like you said, he's a kid. He's still adjusting and learning the system and a new league. He got like 2 or 3 shots off against. I just blanked. Who did we just play?
Forest.
Forest. Thank you. I just blinked. There was like 2 or 3 moments where he got shots off, and in my mind, I was watching those positions and the situations. I was like, Højlund would have never got the shot off there. Šeško's shot wasn't on target or the best shot necessarily, but still the fact that he's making a quick turn or a quick move and then shooting is what I want out of a striker. Højlund a lot of times would either fumble with the ball and then have to pass it away or just lose it altogether. And I think Højlund could still be a good player. I just think in our system, it just wasn't working. And so for Šeško to be up there, it's working out better.
Completely agree. I mean, I think the cause for concern now. I'm not so worried about the front, the attack, even the midfield, which we don't have a lot of depth in. And Casemiro and Bruno probably can't do it 90 minutes week in and week out. But the defense still seemingly having these lapses, especially from crosses into the box. That's starting to get real old still. And I don't want to single anybody out, but I don't understand why Diego Dallo is still starting on the left when you've got Dorgu right there ready to go. Maybe he's not the finished article. I know he's got a mistake in him here and there, like we saw against Brighton. But I think if you want him to be the guy at some point, you've got to give him time. And as we know, Dallo's not great on the left. I mean, he was slow to close down on the first goal, which Ahmad got out jumped for. No real blame there on Ahmad, I don't feel like, or Lamans. But then the second one, he's just kind of sitting there watching, slow to react. The ball bounces around, and maybe Euro could have won that in the air. But Diego Dallo being at the center of both those goals, or at least having a hand in them, is just, it blows my mind. That he's still getting all this time. And I know he's, a solid player, but as we've talked about many times, is the right. He's much better on the right. And I can't for the life of me figure out why he's getting time on the left over Dorgu. I just don't get it.
I will say Dorgu is a bit erratic. I think Dallo brings a bit more calmness on the ball, in my opinion. Yeah. He's not always executing everything as well, and he's definitely not as athletic as Dorgu. But I wonder if Amram likes the fact that he's a little calmer on the ball and can just kind of provide a little bit less unpredictability, is what I would say. Yeah, but I'm with you. I would rather give Dorgu the time and let him continue to adjust because he's only been here since January.
Yeah, and he's really not played a lot lately. I mean, he's having a tough time getting in the team, and if Dallo were lighting it up, I would understand it. But I mean, like you said, he's steady. He's reliable, but his ceiling is the best. I mean, we're seeing the best of Diego Dallo. He's not getting any better. He's not going to bang in goals or put in great tackles and just be a world beater. He's going to be a very serviceable, average player. And to me, like if the wingbacks are the most important players in the Amram system, like a lot of people say, it can't have Diego Dallo out there on the left. Like it's not going to go anywhere. It's for me, no. And
and it's not his natural position. So I'm with you. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense other than the only thing I can think of, because I've asked the same questions, is maybe Amram just likes him being a little bit calmer on the ball and a little bit more controlled. I don't know.
No, you know what it is? The news that came out today about them
being related.
They're related, yeah, like distant cousins or something. I saw
great grandfather or something. Yeah, I think that's a stretch.
Great grandfather.
No. They're descendants of a great grandfather, great grandfather, something like that. Is what I saw.
Yeah. No, that's what it is. He feels like he has to play him. I think that makes more sense now.
He's my seventh cousin, so I'm gonna play him, guys. What if he said that? What if Amram said that in the locker room? I would die laughing.
That'd be terrible. That would be just terrible.
All the players would be like, "What?" Yeah, I don't know. I've thought the same thing. I've really questioned why he's getting to play so much when we have Dorgu. But as much as we say all this, we're gonna need Dallo in about a month during AFCON.
That was going to be my next point, is that he knows his best 11 or getting close to it, and things have been pretty good. But here in a month, a little over a month, they could have Mbumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui missing potentially like 6 games over the course of December and January because the African Cup of Nations coming up. And over that course, we've got Villa away, Newcastle at home, Wolves at home, Leeds away, Burnley away, City at home, and then a third round FA Cup tie potentially if the players all make it that far in the tournament.
That's actually a pretty good run to miss, to be fair.
I mean, we got Villa away, Newcastle at home, Leeds away, City at home, Burnley away.
Burnley and Wolves. Leeds don't scare me.
You got a bunch of games in a small window there with a already seemingly thin squad because he doesn't trust half these players. I don't know. I'm worried about it. Considering how much goes down our right hand side and how potent we are on the right hand side with Ahmad and Mbumo, Dallo will slide in on the right. Surely that's a given. But maybe Dorgu gets some time on the left and we start playing down the left. Maybe Mason Mount will slot in there for Mbumo. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know that Kabi Mainu's not going to play ever again. Poor kid.
Now, that's the thing, though. We have Xerxes and Mainu and Mount. I mean, we have plenty of players, in my opinion, to rotate in, and they're still quality enough. You should be able to beat Burnley, Wolves, Leeds. I'm not saying, this team will, but I'm just saying there's enough quality there. You should be able to pull out some wins there. The unfortunate part of the timing is that it's during the one point of the Premier League season where you start playing midweek games. Versus, if it happened during November, they would only miss 3 or 4 games. But because isn't it December 21st through the 18th of January or something? That's if they go to the final.
Yeah.
Which,
well, for sure, it's 4 games, 5 games, could miss as many as 6.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a bit unfortunate that, it's during the period of time during the season where everything's kind of jam-packed in there, getting in as many games as possible. But I still think for most of those games, even Newcastle has not been great. They just lost to a terrible West Ham team. So I'm not as worried about some of these teams, and I think we have enough quality. We should be able to, at least pick up some wins, maybe a draw or two. This team is still going to dip in form every once in a while. We don't have all the players to really do this system to a T as Amram would like. And I think they still have some deep scars from the last 2 seasons under Ten Hag. But like we even talked about, the fact that they came back over the weekend against Forest, and didn't lose that is a good sign. We're showing some resiliency.
It puts all the more pressure on these upcoming fixtures. So we've got Spurs away, Everton at home, Palace away, West Ham at home, Wolves away, and then Bournemouth at home. Those are the ones leading up to the African Cup of Nations. So all winnable. I mean, with the current squad we have, I would say Tottenham is easily the most difficult one, which talked about bogey sides earlier. They beat us 4 times in a row. Infamously,
yeah. 4 times last year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're due one.
Yeah, I thought they were due one in the Europa League final. It didn't happen. So maybe they're just always going to get the better of us. But no, I think, yeah, if we win Saturday and go on a good run leading into the African Cup Nations, I'll feel a lot better. I still think, as tight as the table is, it'll thin out a bit towards the top. But if we can put ourselves in a position to be thereabouts around Christmas, then that bodes well for the rest of the season. And I honestly have no idea what other teams are looking like. Who are other players going to be in a similar boat with? I doubt anyone's losing 3 players, but surely there's some guys. I mean, City will lose Marmoush, Salah at Liverpool, Chelsea.
Probably the most notable that I can think of. But yeah, surely some of those players are going to be a loss.
Transbonspor will lose Onana. Rough for them.
How will they deal with it? Yeah, that's the little bit of hope we have is Mbumo with Cameroon. If Onana just starts shipping in goals, he'll be back in no time.
This is true. They are not great. Morocco.
Sorry for all of our Cameroon fans. I apologize.
Morocco and Ivory Coast are pretty solid, though, and I expect those teams to go deeper in the tournament. But it is usually a pretty unpredictable tournament, I feel like. So you never know what can happen. Maybe they'll all maybe someone will pick up a little knock and then can't travel, and then we'll play a week later, right around Boxing Day or something. Who knows?
Right.
But
yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think our squad is deep enough to handle that run. I don't think they're world beaters by any stretch, but I think it's a good enough squad that they should be able to handle it.
It'll finally give, hopefully, it'll give Mainu a chance. He'll get more time, surely. I don't know where exactly, because I think his best position is a 10, but Mason Mount will probably be starting over him or get a first look in there in place of Mbumo. And then Xerxes, I don't know. I don't see him probably getting any time. And I saw the rumor mill firing up again today about Roma being back in form in the January transfer window. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've been relatively healthy so far too, which has been unusual. So I don't really want to let anybody go in the event that or Casemiro gets a red card or something again. You never know what could happen. And player Schwarzen's can turn pretty quickly, and guys that aren't getting a lot of time can become important. So hopefully Kabi's ready to go when the time comes, because I'm sure he'll get his moment here in the next 6 weeks or so.
And I think he'll keep rotating him in as a sub. I would like to see him get a start.
Yeah, I think they want him to be an 8 real bad, or even a 6, which I just don't. He doesn't seem to do it as well as Bruno or Casemiro can do, and he seems to be better higher up the pitch, closer to goal. So, and he's not gonna get in ahead of Cunha and Mbumo. So, it's a tough spot for him. I hate it because I want to see him do so well.
Yeah, I do too. I really don't want to see him leave even on loan for 6 months in January. Same with Xerxes. I mean, I think he's a quality player, and I'd like to see us still have some squad depth because we're going to need it if we make any sort of a push in the FA Cup. Even I think we'll need it. And like you said, I mean, Amram's done a really good job at mitigating a bunch of the injuries that we've seen in the past. I think by really watching everybody's minutes and probably their training regimen. So that's a credit to Amram and his team because they've kind of figured it out. Because usually by now we have almost 8 or 10 injuries, and we're rotating all sorts of players in.
Yeah,
just trying to figure it out.
Yep.
But yeah, I think they'll get some time. It's just how patient do they want to be? Because I think if Manu or Xerxes really push for it, they would probably oblige and let him go on loan or be sold.
Possibly. I think Xerxes for sure will probably. I think he'd be the first of the two to get a chance to go, just because I don't see how he, if Šeško goes down, I think Cunha or Mbumo or somebody rotates in up top ahead of him, or you try some different things. Because even when Šeško wasn't here yet, we were seeing Mount even getting a look as a false 9 ahead of Josh Xerxes. So I kind of think he's the first to go, and I'm okay with it. I mean, he's a good player. And he seemed to be getting better last year. Towards the end of last season, we really relied on him to come in and do the job. So, but I just don't think he's of the quality we probably need to go to the next level. And I think there's a few players like that. I've heard several times people talking about how this team will look entirely different, in 2 years' time. And I can't imagine outside of Lamens and Mbumo and Cunha, maybe Ahmad, like who's guaranteed to be here in 2 years' time.
Yeah,
Nora, hopefully. The rest of them, they can probably go. Honestly, I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of overhauls, especially in the midfield in the next 2 years. Speaking of midfield, what did you think of Anderson? Watching him play against us.
I haven't watched him a lot. A lot of people seem to rate him very highly, kind of like Baleba, who didn't do anything also against us.
He did not have a great game.
But no, I think a lot of potential there, and if they want to build a midfield around those two guys, then by all means. I mean, they seem to be, from what I've seen, what the experts are saying, go for it. I like that we're looking at that kind of profile player. I'll say that.
I didn't think he was amazing, but I thought he was a good player. My worry is a little bit in the fact that, we're probably going to have a, limited budget again with no Europe this year. I mean, maybe if we get Europe this year, they'll be able to kind of mitigate some of that. But anyway, we're hearing numbers of like 100 and 120 for him. And I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Glaber, Elliot Anderson.
Anderson already. Which just seems really extreme.
Transfer market has him at 45 million euros, which that's probably double that.
Yeah, I would lean towards something. Right. I would lean towards something like that. Like put him around 60, 70 million, sure. But 100, 120? I mean, I don't know that he has the resume for that to justify that, but
is he a big goal scorer? He's not much of a goal scorer, is he?
No, he's a passer.
Yeah.
He's more of a creator.
Yeah.
Or a disruptor.
Yeah.
So, no, I liked him. I think he'd be a good addition for sure. He covers a lot of ground. He gets involved. He's not afraid to win the ball back, which is what we really need. Casemiro's been doing great lately. I think him and Bruno and, the tweaks Amram has provided has really helped both of them in the midfield area to not get overrun. But I think if you got Anderson with somebody else that can cover a lot of ground, I think you could start to leave them as just the two and they'd be able to handle it.
Yeah, they work well in Amram's system for sure.
Yeah. You being robbed?
The dogs heard something and they just took off. So stampede.
See you, Dad.
Yep. They knew I was going to pivot to the women's team, which they don't care about. So it took off.
Well, before we do that, I was actually going to ask you, how was the atmosphere at Skinny's for the Liverpool game?
That was good. Yeah.
Were there a lot of people there?
Yeah, I mean, we took a photo, which a lot of people had already left for some reason, like bailed immediately. There were probably 25 of us there, which, I mean, that's for the crowds we've been getting, which, I mean, they've been hit or miss depending on the kickoff times, which is going to be brutal over the next month or so. No, it was good. A lot more United. I shouldn't say a lot more. There were more of us in Liverpool. There were quite a few Liverpool fans, too. So, no, it was good. Some good banter back and forth like there always is, and all in good spirits, I suppose, and especially because we won.
Were tears shed when Harry headed it in? Like, were people just crying and screaming?
It was hard to tell the difference between tears and the beer showers, man. It was just so much liquid going around there.
Man, again, his character arc is just on another level. It's crazy to see where he's come from. Yeah,
I mean, he's an incredible example of how to be a professional and just get on with it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to sulk, and he saw some of the memes and articles and all the things, and he just put his head down and said, "I'll figure it out." And did you see his interview with Rio?
I did not.
I think over the summer, I think it was with Rio on his channel. I could be wrong. Anyway, he basically discussed a bit of losing the captaincy, and he was disappointed in that, but he still wanted to be at this club. He just seems to love Manchester United, and those are the types of players you want at the club, playing for the squad.
And I believe he's out of contract, and I've heard some things about possibly extending that, which...
what do you think of that?
I mean, yeah, if I don't know what the wages look like, because I've heard rumblings about the idea of extending Casemiro, which if you're going to do that, then you're going to have to take a pay cut, buddy. But, I mean, no, I'd be fine, totally fine with Maguire being kept on. I think we're going to need guys like that. I'm not sure he's going to be a consistent starter at any point, the rest of his career for us, but I'm good with it. I think he does a great job, and he's clearly a leader, and guys look up to him. And yeah, no, if he loves United, then that's good enough for me.
I think if he's willing to maybe understand that he's going to have more of a squad rotational role, and if they can get him on a little bit of lower wages and he's fine with that, then I'm cool with extending him. Casemiro, I mean, I lean towards moving on, but he's been so good lately. If he can keep the form up, then cool. But same thing, I think he'd probably have to be willing to take a squad role and take less money.
Agreed.
And we just use them, as needed.
I don't see it happening for Casemiro. I think this is his last hurrah with us, and hopefully we go out the league title for him. Right, that's the goal.
We might have needed to win. We might have needed to win at Forest in order to do that, because Arsenal's not losing. They are just trucking through.
Yeah. No, their defense is incredible, right? They don't concede anything.
Yeah, they've been good. Hey, how about United's turning into Arsenal 2.0, scoring all these set piece goals? We have 8 or 9 in the Prem off of set pieces, and that's second to Arsenal.
Yeah, it's incredible, especially considering how we never used to do it. And we even hired that set piece coach or whatever it was for a season. And it didn't get any better, and all of a sudden it's better now. I don't know what it is. Maybe because they're all taller guys out there now. We've got a tall team. Maybe that's it.
Right. Right.
We got more threats crossing the ball in, maybe. I don't know. It's good to see, though. I love it. I love it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the open play goals more because they're more enjoyable to watch. But honestly, I just want to watch us score goals. After watching last year and maybe the year before as well, where we just continually struggled to score any sort of goal any which way, I just want to see the ball go in the back of the net for us.
I'll take it.
That's what I thought was funny about Casemiro's deflected goal against Brighton. I was like, that's really lucky, but I'll take any luck we can get.
Yeah. And I mean, by all means, keep shooting, because he's decent enough shooting the ball. Most of them are, but things like that happen if you take chances. So I'm all for it. I'll take ugly goals all day, man. I'll take them.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
do
for sure.
you want to talk about the women's team real quick? Give them a quick little shout out. We'll run down recent happenings.
Yeah, they're kicking butt.
Yeah, the ladies are still rocking it right now. Since we last recorded, they've won 2 games in the Champions League, I believe. We could cover one of those. Maybe we already covered one. But they beat Atletico Madrid 1-0. That was a few weeks ago, which I don't know if you got to see any of that one, but maybe the worst red card decision I think I've ever seen. Like, Dominique Janssen
I
got
didn't get
sent
to
off.
see it.
Yeah,
What happened?
she just went in for a tackle and slid, but kind of came at an angle from the side. But the woman who I don't even know, but she went down, and it was one of those things where the referee clearly was reacting to the injury, but it was I don't even think they called a foul initially. And then she went and reviewed it. The referee did, and came back and brandished a red card, which it was a straight red for.
Wow.
And I have to look at it, but I mean, it was barely even a foul to me, if that. But the girl was hurt, so I don't know. It was just one of those things. I don't know. It seemed like not doing any favors for the women's game when calls like that are being made, especially after a VAR review. But they held on. They were up 1-0, held on to win.
So are you saying the Man United hate extends to the women's side of the game as well?
100% correct, yes.
Wow.
We never get any decisions that go our way. The referees are always against us. That ball was definitely out of bounds on Sunday, or Saturday, by the way. 100%.
I mean, I thought it was, but I have seen the reverse angle, and it doesn't look like. But it's that whole thing of the Japanese game in the World Cup, where it was like, was it out, was it not? And, yeah,
I think it was not out probably, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. I'll take a goal like that every game. I don't care.
What I find weird is everybody keeps forgetting that in the second half they were given a corner they should not have gotten, Forest, and they didn't score from it. And then on top of that, there was a corner we should have had, and we didn't get. I think it deflected in the second half. So anyway, I just think, look, it's just how it went, and we happened to score off of it, or United happened to score off of it, and you guys didn't defend very well. Complain all you want, but you still should have defended better.
Agreed. But back to the women's team. So they're now 5th in the Champions League table. And I think, it's Barcelona, Madrid, Wolfsburg, and Lyon. So some heavy hitters ahead of them. And then they had an international break and came back with a 3-2 win at Brighton. So they're 3rd in the league on 17 points and only 2 behind leaders Chelsea and 1 behind City, with a big derby coming up here in a couple weeks. And then I think, they're back to league play this weekend, and then have a big game against PSG next week in Champions League. So it's fixtures coming, thick and fast for them right now, which they seem to be handling it. And it's tough to watch some of the games because they're so early. Almost every single one of them is 6:30 or earlier, it seems like. But no, they're at least fun to watch. Melvin Millard's got 5 goals. Jess Park's got 4. And they should be in contention. I don't know about Champions League. That might be a tough ask for them because there's a lot of good teams in there. But hopefully they're in and about, and if making a title challenge in the league come the end of the season because they're quality and they're fun to watch too.
And they held Chelsea to 1-1, and Chelsea's been kind of ripping up everybody else. So the fact that they were able to hold them was a good sign. Yeah, Skinner seems to be having them playing well in both competitions. And they're, like we've talked about before, they are heavily underfunded compared to these other teams that they're going up against at the top of the Premier League and some of the teams in the Champions League. So the fact that they're hitting above their weight the way they are is a testament to the squad and to Skinner, the manager.
Agreed. Well, that's been your women's team minute.
Tune in next time.
Yep. Well, Alan, there's not. We were kind of talking before about other things happening. It's been kind of I feel like a slow couple of weeks or so. I mean,
even though this is the most exciting period we've had.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens, right? Is we win, and then there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing negative to talk about. The media can't do anything about it. David Beckham was knighted. We saw that, so that's good. Sir David Beckham, you got to call him. He joins Sir Alex Ferguson and Sir Matt Busby and Sir Robbie Charlton. That's 4 knights we've got now. So pretty cool.
Almost enough for a round table.
Almost. They've
Bad
got just a
joke, I
regular
know. Bad joke.
table now, like a dad joke. But the boys are back in action on Saturday at Tottenham. Are you worried about that one?
I don't know what's the deal with Tottenham, but I saw something about them being terrible at home this season so far. Like they've not
Is
picked
that
up
right?
many points at home. I guess Frank has them playing better on the road than he does at home for whatever reason.
Smashed Copenhagen today in the Champions League 4-0.
Yeah.
And that's
I think it's just Premier League for them, but still, yeah, for whatever reason, they just have been struggling at home. So I'm not that worried about them. I mean, did you see their XG against Chelsea over the weekend?
I did not see. I mean, I saw they lost.
They were kind of making it a big deal because they literally produced 0.05 XG at home against Chelsea.
Oof.
So yeah, pretty bad. And then their left back Spence didn't even high five the coach when he stuck his hand out at the end of the game. Van de Ven, I think Van de Ven didn't see him, but yeah, there was the video circulating around social media after the game for that. So yeah, stuff's not looking great for Spurs. I think they've had kind of a decent start because they've played some of the weaker teams in the table. You know, if you look at United's run so far in the first 10 games, we've played a lot of top half teams, and I think this will be the last of the top 6 that we haven't played because we've played City, we've played Liverpool, we've played Arsenal, and we've played Chelsea. So yeah, Spurs will finish out. So anyway, I'm feeling pretty confident. I say we get a win. I say United wins. I'll do. Not that you asked for my prediction, but I'll give it to you anyway, Tyler. I'll say 2-0.
I would take a clean sheet. I feel like we haven't had one in a little while. I like that.
I kind of wonder if they'll get if Amram will kind of hammer the squad about some of the cheap goals they've been giving up, and maybe we tighten things up away from home.
I hope so. I'll take a win however we can get it. I say 2-1. 2-1 for us, and Bumo's going to score, and maybe a De Ligt goal would be nice. Nice header goal. Yeah,
I like that. Hey, I wanted to ask you. Amram's been in the job for a year now. I think his year anniversary was over the weekend, wasn't
it? Yep.
Who you looking at as? Last time we kind of talked about who was maybe our player of the season so far. We all kind of agreed it was Mbumo. Who do you got as maybe your most improved player, not just this season, but like under Amram's first year?
Well, I mean, I think, and it's weird to say for a 5-time Champions League winner, but Casemiro is just massively improved because I think he's already got like four goals / assists, and I saw a stat like the previous 2 seasons, that's all he had combined in the league. So he looked, and he obviously it's well touted how fit he looks. So I think it's hard to argue against Casemiro just because we thought he was about at rock bottom this time last year and really couldn't wait to get rid of him, and now he's one of the first names in the team sheet probably. So
I mean, I was thinking between Casemiro or Ahmad, and I would probably go towards Ahmad just because of how clutch he's been. Even when we were crap last season, he came up with some really clutch moments, at City and when he got his hat trick.
It's amazing. We talked about it a lot, how Erik ten Hag refused to play Amad Diallo for whatever reason. Just never give him a chance. And all the guy's done since he's come in our Amram is score big goals and have, goal involvement. So I can't imagine what Ten Hag saw or didn't see, but that alone.
He just loved Anthony. He just loved the GOAT, Anthony.
I guess, man. But no, Ahmad, Ahmad has come a long way. And I said Casemiro first name on the team sheet, but you have a hard time. I mean, there's a few guys, I guess, that are always going to be in the lineup, but I think Ahmad has definitely earned his spot, and that right back spot is his now. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think what's he got? He's only got 1 goal, I guess, right? As the first goal he had so far.
That was his first, yeah. I think he's got an assist or 2, so he's still getting involved. And, we didn't really touch on it a whole lot earlier, but, the goal he gave up, that's part of the risk you're going to run with a player his size at wingback. I think, but you saw the 2 sides of it, right? Teams are going to try to exploit that he's a little bit smaller and maybe not as defensively aware on that far post. But at the same time, he's going to dribble, get you into the box, provide some chances, and maybe score a screamer or two. And that's what you got to kind of take with him. I'm all for it. If we're going to give up a goal every 5 games because he's not as big as the other guy, but he keeps providing the offensive push that he's doing, I'd take that.
I'm with you on that. And you hope the 3 center backs could provide a little more cover on the set pieces for that very reason. But we can't have it all right now. We can only have so much, and I like what I'm seeing. I think the vibes are much better than they were, and it's trending up. And I'm here for it. And the fact that Liverpool have struggled, they won today, I think, against Madrid, which is good for them. But the fact that they've kind of had a dip in form in the league, coinciding with a bit of an uptick in form for us, has been even better.
A little reversal.
Yes.
It has been very refreshing, very nice. I think players are just bought in. I think Amram's kind of figured out what works for this squad, and all of those things coming together has made a huge difference. And I just, as we both hope, it just continues. Gets in their heads, and they just continue with the confidence building and producing some results that we can all get happy about and excited to watch our team again. I'm just excited, as much as we talked about like they're conceding too much. I'm just excited we're scoring again, man. I got so tired watching these games and going, we're providing some chances, but holy crap, we can't score to save our lives. So it's just nice to finally see us scoring again.
It's nice to know that we're going to go into a game and create chances and not think, how are we going to score goals today? Because there's plenty of quality out there to get it done now. And when we went behind on Saturday, I knew we'd come back and get a goal. I mean, I knew there was at least one more goal in that. And that's a nice feeling to have, is, there's enough quality out there to dig us out and put some goals in the back of the net. So I'm all for it. Spurs are in 6th on 17 points. So if we win, we jump them. And that one kicks off Saturday at 6:30 a.m. begins a terrible run of fixtures with a bunch of 6:30s and 6s, and then midweek Mondays and Fridays. And I don't think we have a weekend game later than 6:30 until December 21st is what I was looking at earlier, which is insane to think about. It's just crazy.
When AFCON starts.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough to be a supporter. I feel for a lot of these traveling fans that have to go and do the thing, and kudos to them for going and supporting the team. But it seems as hard as it is for us to get up that early, get off the couch and watch the game. I can't imagine having to travel and support the team on a work night or whatever it might be. So,
right. Yeah, that is tough. But I feel like they're going to make it worth it, even though we have to get up kind of early, or, you may have to drive out there to watch them play, or, I don't know what they have to do in England to get there, other than I hear them talking about taking the highways down to London or wherever. But at least they're making it worth our while by at least scoring goals and being competitive. So, and shoot, Tyler, we actually won a game by more than one goal. How about that?
Which game was that?
The Brighton game.
Oh yeah, 4-2. I forget about the late goal. I was like, it was 3-2. No, 4-2. Oof, yeah.
Well, I was sitting there like, crap, we played so well. We were up by 3, and we're going to only win by 1. I felt like Ten Hag was constantly winning by only 1. And then Amram last year, a lot of his were just winning by 1. I was like, can we get a comfortable match, please? Just finally win some.
No, that late
against
goal
a good opponent.
That late goal made it feel a lot better. We didn't just, limp in with a 3-2 when we put a stamp on it with a nice goal to give everybody a little jolt again. But
yeah, they deserved it.
Boys are back on Saturday, 6:30. We'll be at Skinny Slims. If you can't make it out, I believe this one's on Peacock. I think all the 6:30 ones are. So, get a good night's rest. And, anything you want to add, Alan?
No, I think we covered it, Tyler. Up the Reds.
All right, man. Well, until next time, Alan, always a pleasure. Everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And come on, you Reds.